Okay, now in today's video we're going to go over how to build up. Now just to give you a bit of an example of how we're going to do this, we're just going to use here a very basic 4-2-3-1. We're going to put a lot of the players more on stay back, so that way we're going to show you how to do this manually. So we're going to put all these players on stay back. Just to give you a bit of an example of how it would work, and I think also the same things go with the tactics as well. We're going to get rid of the long ball, that way I want you to see that I'm doing it myself, because people always say, oh, it's always, X and Y or these tactics, and people always say, oh, do pros lie about their tactics, etc., etc. They don't. Is that they play balanced, because a lot of what they do, it's all done manually. So I'm just going to go here, change defensive. We're going to kick the ball out of place. We don't get a kickoff. And I'm going to walk you through how I build up. So the main thing is that, okay, let's say I want you to not really focus on the defensive end, but you can if you want to. We're going to keep things basic. What you really want to focus on is when you get the ball is you want to create 1-2s. If you just pass the ball around like this, you're never going to get movement. You see, there's no movement. The players that stand there, Neymar just standing there. But if I, for example, do a 1-2, now I'm not saying you should do it with your centre backs, but look. See how all these players are now running forward now? Look how much space is provided for me with all these players running forward. A lot of players, when they get here, they just do this pass. And they say, oh, why is there nothing happening? But if I do a 1-2, you can see that player makes a run. Neymar goes into that space. That creates a gap for that player. And then Ronaldo can then take a shot towards goal. So it really starts with the pure and utter basics. But for some reason, I've been coaching FIFA for years, and thousands of gameplay that I do look over. Everyone just seems to forget about the basics. I can only imagine it's because obviously you're kind of inspired and you've learned to play FIFA one way a very long time ago, and that same way just doesn't work anymore. And sometimes when you get frustrated, you just forget about the basics. And I can guarantee you watching this video now, you're thinking, oh, you know what, Neil, you say that, but I'm actually doing it. But are you actually doing it? I'm not using no agile dribbling here, just basic gameplay. Again, same thing. Now, not only can you do the 1-2s, as I mentioned, what you can also do is the L1 triggers. As you can see, I've got no direct passing on this. So, likewise, if there's no one in attack, I use the L1 button. You see that? I'm saying to these players, make runs going forward. Does it matter if they go offside? No. Because when the player goes offside, have a look at Mbappe. When he goes, watch Mbappe. When he goes offside and he comes back on again, watch. He is unmarked there. See that? How Mbappe was unmarked in that split second. You might have to rewind it and go back 5 seconds. But Mbappe was completely unmarked when he was offside. Nice Pele there. Get that ball off him very easily. So that is the key thing you want to look at. So if you see a player, let's say for example like Neymar, right? Let's say I do a 1-2 and I miss time, and let's say I can't make a pass to Neymar. When he comes back on, look, same with Mbappe, look, he's offside now. Watch when Neymar comes, watch Mbappe in the corner of your screen. See how Mbappe is now free when he comes back on side. It's a small little trick you can use. I don't want my opponent to leave. But it's a small, that should be a penalty, by the way. I don't know what that was. But that's a small little trick you can use. You want to see more of this content, by the way, you can subscribe to my Patreon series, patreon.com/NeilGuides. Link is down below in the description where I teach more basic fundamentals like this, so you're good for any FIFA, no matter what you play. Don't get better after 1 month. I'll refund your money. Now, of course, you can use creative runs. You can use creative runs. I see a lot of players use creative runs. It does work very well. But this is only for advanced. I'm talking about, if you're like an elite player, then start using creative runs. In my opinion, up until you get to elite, you don't even need to use creative runs at all. Keep it basic. Everyone always likes to overcomplicate the game. Let me just play it. The last game I played, my opponent quit, so I just want to kick the ball randomly so he doesn't quit this time. I have to start this video all over again. But yeah, so as I said, make sure you keep it basic. The other thing I want to say to you is don't use the R1 button. It brings players closer towards you, but the way to create space is not by trying to press the R1 button. You want to use the 1-2s. Now, the second thing that we go inside is, okay, what about losing the ball? Now, of course, you can use agile dribbling. Agile dribbling is very, very good to get a speed boost, go into an angle. You can even use the strafe dribbling, which is the L1 button. Both of them equally are very good. I actually prefer the strafe, but again, you don't need it. People always say, oh, look, you know what? You need to use these. You really don't. And just to give you a bit of a better example now, when the ball goes out of play, I'm going to make a substitution. Because a lot of people will say, oh, you know what? I'm watching this video and they'll make some excuse saying, oh, you know what? It's because he's got Mbappe in his team. It's because he's got X, Y, or this player, that player. And just to prove it to you, I'm actually going to sub these players off. So watch. I'm going to take off all these players, yeah? I'm going to put Buta in. I'm going to put Frankowski's a left back. I'll put him in. We're going to put Deulofeu in. And you know what? Let's just dash Llorente as a right mid position. And then, do you know what? We're going to do this over here. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to put Lema on the pitch. So we're actually going to play... Llorente is a very versatile player as right mid. And we're going to play Buta, which I think is a card you can get for like 9k or 10k, literally quick sell value. And I'm going to show you the exact same thing, because everyone always says, oh, you know what, Neil, it's easy for you. Well, when I play with a 15k team, I did the exact same thing. It's not about the team. People overcomplicate. Oh, you look, is it the team? Is it because he's Mbappe, he's got that play? Yeah, does a team make a difference? I'm not saying it doesn't. You're in front of goal. If you can't score with a lower tier player, if you take a shot with a higher tier player, is there a better chance you scoring? Yes, there is. But it's not the do all or die all. You can see the exact same thing is going to happen over there. So you can see they've got Deulofeu, exact same thing, 1-2. You can stick at the ball with Llorente, 1-2. Llorente's making that run. You can see, look, it's more about timing here. That wasn't a pass that I wanted. Get that ball here, do a 1-2 again. All I got to do is time it now. Good defending from my opponent. Very good read. Panicked a little bit there. L1 trigger. Through ball. And unfortunately, the finishing there wasn't that good. Just offside as well. So those are the key things. You know, just focus on those 1-2s. I'll walk you through just a couple of more examples on me doing the 1-2s. Especially with this example over here. I do have space and time on the ball. But let's say, for example, you get the ball over there. And then it's all about losing the ball. Now, how do you not lose the ball? Even with a player that's fairly cheap, you can do the exact same thing. Just left it. Now, people going to say, oh, you know what? You're lucky. What about Virgil van Dijk, who's got bad agility and balance, or Marquinhos? You can do the same thing. You just want to take a touch away from your opponent. Have a look. I'm looking at that white cursor, and I move my left analog stick away from him. If that cursor comes towards me, I hope it does come towards me, I'll then move that left analog stick away from my opponent. I just push forward there, so that way he doesn't quit the game. But in all aspects, like here, look, Frankowski is a left back. He's probably got like 30 attacking awareness. God knows what he has. But look, it's still the exact same thing. Do that 1-2, make that pass out of the box, boost a little bit less of dribbling, let my opponent panic. Good defending in the end, or good AI block, should I say. So that's where the whole thing starts with. Okay, so now you understand the basics. You know how it works using a 4-2-3-1. The question is, how do you build up consistently? Now, I always go to a left back and right back, and these are the key players to make your build up play. A lot of players make the mistake, they try to force the ball into the middle, and although it might be easier for me to do from experience, the thing is I trust myself with the left analog stick. Like, even like here with Buta, a left back, I can dribble my way into and probably get around the goalkeeper like this. Just left analog stick, look at this. Just left analog stick here. I trust myself to dribble with my left analog stick, and I can do it with a left back. I'm playing a left back in striker, and I still was able to do it. So I think it's a left back anyway. I'll double check. So the key thing is when we start the 1-2s now, what about build up it itself? Is it easier than you think? It actually is. We want to focus on two things here. We want to focus on the ram and the lamb, and the left back and the right back. Okay. We're going to focus on the same thing that we mentioned. It's 1-2s going back. Even if you watch the pro players, they do this, but just on a more quicker level, more advanced, a bit more trickery. But what I'm teaching you here right now is what pro players use themselves, is that they just use it among with other things. They put a ball roll into it, a ball roll, scoop, all these other things are added into it. So once I get that ball back, I'll give you a bit of an example. Again, don't worry too much about the defensive phase. It's not really important that side. So let's say in any aspect, let's say you get the ball, okay? I'll run. Is there someone in front of me? I can't run anymore, so I'll do a 1-2 bounce back. I'll use my CDM, and then it's just timing of that through ball. Then what I'll normally do is I'll get the ball over here. I'll do it. Now you see I can't go into the middle, so I'll take a turn backwards, go back to the right back, to the Ram or Cam, whoever it is. You can see he's playing very, very narrow. So I'm looking at his shape. You see that? I know he's got a narrow shape. So I'm just going to stick more on these outer areas. See where Deulofeu is? Just more on these outer areas. And that is the kind of the areas you want to exploit. So we're going to show you the same thing again. Again, I'm not trying to score here because I've actually tried recording this twice now. And even though I've got a good system. Again, here 1-2. So look here, let's dribble. I see I'm looking at the Deulofeu on the radar. Llorente's offside. So I'm waiting for Llorente to come back on again. Llorente's onside again. Make a pass to him. Bounce the ball back. If he can get up in time. Just about missed it. Godfrey fell over. And that is why the co-op camera angle is important. Now, you see, I can see virtually everything on a pitch with a co-op camera angle. I can see where his players are positioned. That way I can make that pass down the wing. If you don't have the co-op camera angle, you can't see that much. Now, does that mean I can't play without co-op? Of course I can. But you see, with a top tier player and all these top tier higher end players, when they play with another camera angle, people are like, oh, well, my favorite player Tex, I'm sorry, they use telebroadcast. Well, first of all, pros actually do use co-op. There's a lot of pros that do use it. But the difference is that when, let's say if I change now to telebroadcast, right? And I'm just going to zoom, actually, I'll zoom out like this, okay? Yes, it's better to see things on the pitch, but you can't see everything. So you see, I can't see where my right mid is. You see, I can't see where the striker is. Now you can see, look at Llorente, he goes off the pitch there. You see that? So I have to be able to look at the radar. Like when I do that 1-2, I got to look at the radar and be like, oh, is Llorente in a good position to make the pass? Now I know that because I glance at the radar from experience. I can look at other things on the screen and look at the radar and glance at it, and I can get away with it. So yes, with lesser dribbling, it is better. But you see, it's much harder. Even like defensively, for example, you might not be able to see the full size of the picture. You can't see all the, like even over here, is there a player in a right mid at the right back? Go back 5 seconds over there, rewind it. I couldn't even see that right back on the pitch. Now, if you have to ask yourself, can you glance at the radar every 2 or 3 seconds while you're playing without fail? If you can do that without losing the ball and do it consistently, then in my opinion, you don't need to actually use the co-op camera angle. But I would still do it anyway, regardless, just to give you a bit of an example. Now, if, for example, you're in a situation, for example, like here, when you have the ball, if you want to switch the ball, you're going to have to look at the radar. Otherwise, you will not know who's on the opposite side. Same thing with counter-attacks. If you lose the ball, let's say when you get the ball here, this is what big people can see, by the way. I'll tell you from experience, some thousands of people are coached. When they lose the ball over here, they can't see the opposition strikers. When someone's a driven pass to the striker, they can't see a defensive line properly, and they're not able to react in time. That is why they're delayed in running back with their centre-backs and switching to those players, because they don't see them, because they use these camera angles. So a lot of things what the pros are telling you, it's not that they're wrong, it's that they're just not made for the average player. They're made for someone who's already, let's say, a rank 1 player or something of that nature, where it's much easier. But you can see, look, I can still dribble the left analog stick. It's all about evasion, not about beating the player. But you can see, for example, like here, you have to be able, is there a person as a left, I'm on a complete left-hand side with my left back, is there a person running in behind? You don't know. And same thing here with switching the ball. You're under pressure. You might be panicking with constant pressure. But do you have the experience here to look and be like, you know what, that player is completely free. Then all I've got to do is get the ball there, do an L1 trigger. That player is on. Then here, for example, I'll do a ball. And that's what you might see the pros do. They might do a ball like this. Fake shot. They might do some sort of step over or some inside cut or something of that nature. They might do a step over like this. Speed boost or whatever. That's what they do. But they keep the basics very, very simple. Same with the defender. Am I ready for the L1 triangle? Am I ready for the switch? For example, like here, I could just about see my back line, but I can see my left back in position. I don't have to panic, I don't have to worry. L1 trigger there to that player. Again, it's all about timing. See, I'm waiting for him to do just offside. That way I can make a perfect pass. And let's just get this goal now, since it should be fine now to score. And we're going to give him the penalty, because that's very well won from that play over there. Where is he? Frankowski, I believe his name is. Not bad penalties, actually. 59. We're going to get this. We're going to go, and I normally wait for it to close. I'm looking at the bottom left at the power bar here. And then I'm going to go top left after. Well, should have had a bit more power there. But that's just an example of, with the camera angle, you can see how much your view is restricted. So make sure you change your camera angle, and that way you got a better view of everything inside the pitch. But again, 1-2s, keep it basic. Look, don't run with the ball as well. Just jog. See, look, I can maneuver. Look, when I'm running, I can't maneuver, guys. Look, I can't maneuver. I can't do anything. Don't forget, when you're running, it's very, very hard for you to do skill moves. Better situation over here. Don't forget, when you're running, you can't do skill moves. Don't forget. can't do skill moves. You take very heavy touches. If you try to make a pass, you end up becoming very lethargic. Let go of the run button. Just let go of it. Forget this agile strafe nonsense. Just keep it simple. Put that stuff in when you got the basics on check. I think that's offside, I believe. It's not. It is. Put the strafe dribbling, the agile dribbling. Put that into your game once you get to the elite level. But for now, you don't really need it. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my Patreon series, patreon.com/Neil Guys. Link is down below in the description. If you don't get bet after 1 month, I'll refund it. You can click on the left-hand side of the screen right now, and you get access to my FIFA School. Again, you don't get bet after 1 month, I'll refund your money as a Neil Guys guarantee. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Take it easy, and of course, I'll catch you next time. Peace out.